What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. I hope all of you doing pretty good. And yes, it's a good morning. I started off the morning with a coffee, and it's good to have some caffeine in before the video. And yes, today's topic is cross-section area and force production. So the idea of this video was from the last video. So if you haven't seen the last video, it's up there. So it's the idea of this video is from that. The last video was about functional hypertrophy, how to get big, how to emulate the physique that your favorite athletes have, and this is kind of the second version of that video. And today we're going to discuss that does having big cross-section area, big muscle, meaning that you're a powerful athlete. So there are lots and lots of books in strength and conditioning. There are lots and lots of literature that says that cross-sectional area and force production has a linear relationship. So what that means is the bigger your muscle, the ability to produce the force of that muscle gets higher. So the linear relationship means in the graph, if you see this graph, this cross-sectional area, as the cross-sectional area increases, the ability to produce force also increases. So according to me, that's right. Yeah, it is absolutely right that it has a linear relationship. But if you see an athlete, if you ask me, that is not most optimal way to look at things, because yes, the force production is good, but our athlete needs to be powerful. Now what I mean by powerful, if you see the definition of powerful, it's force into velocity. Now if you increase the cross-sectional area, you increase the force producing ability, but the thing is that there is only one part of the puzzle. The force is the one part of the puzzle, because again, power is equal to force into velocity. So you need to take that velocity aspect as well. And there are other studies also showing that strength gain doesn't mean the gain of or the cross-section area increases. So because why this is happening? Because always the strength gain is not always muscular. It can be your neural adaptation, your CNS adaptation, it's your facial length, increase in facial length, it can be your penetration angle. There are lots and lots of factors that play in increasing the strength. So if you think that getting bigger will help you to get stronger, I think you need to reconsider it, because I have this study in front of me. I'm gonna look here and tell you, because I don't want to be wrong. So there was a study done by Elway and colleagues where they show that there was lower force to cross-sectional area ratio in bodybuilders versus weightlifter at the velocity of 1.05 to 4.19 radians per second. So if you had the time is the velocity. How fast you can produce force. So the bodybuilders were having less force to cross-section area than weightlifters, and if you know that elite bodylifters have huge muscles. So if that is correct, if this cross-section area is your ability to produce force, that is completely wrong from this study, because they have that velocity aspect as well. So it's just not the force production. If you see the force production, yes, maybe bodybuilders can have an edge, but if you constrain them, that you say a bodybuilder that you have to produce this amount of force at this speed or this velocity, they might not be able to do that. And that is the difference between a bodybuilder and an athlete. The ability to produce high amount of force in less amount of time, or in a high amount of velocity. There was another study which was a 7-week study where they did the work. They separated the two groups into doing 80% of their 1 RM work and 50% of their 1 RM work. And the cross-section area of 80% didn't increase, or it stayed same, and the cross-section area of 50% group was big, but the strength of 80% group was more, and the strength of 50% work was less. So from this study, you can completely figure out that having a big cross-section area doesn't always mean that you are a strong athlete, because there is a velocity aspect as well. If you focus on getting bigger and producing more force and bigger and force and force and force, you are just improving one part of the puzzle, and you need to look the other part of the puzzle, that is your velocity. So if you want to be powerful, if you want to be strong, getting big is not the only way. Yes, if you are lacking that size which will hinder your performance, you can add some size. That way you can increase the force producing ability. But then as you increase the training, you need to produce that force in high velocity, and that's how you will be powerful. That's how you will be a powerful athlete. So this idea that having a big cross-section area means that you have a strong athlete, no, you need that other part as well. So this was the thing I wanted to address, and this as I told you, this is the second part of the previous video. And by watching previous video, many of you think that yes, we want to get bigger so we can perform better, we will be much stronger. But you need to add another aspect to our training as well, and that is lifting weights as fast as possible, producing that force as fast as possible. And that is where the rate of force development comes. The rate of force development means producing force at high velocity. And so yes, you need to train that way. First you train with maximum or sub-maximal load, and then you taper the load and you increase the velocity of the movement, medium weight and high intent movements. That way you'll increase your power. So yes guys, this is it from my side. I hope that I just cleared the air around this a little bit, because you had this misconception, and I hope this helped you guys. So thank you guys for watching. I'll see you till next time. Goodbye.